Welcome to the LumiCast, your premier gateway to the universe of limitless photo editing. Dive into the galaxy of Luminar software and the dynamic world of AI photo editing. Join us weekly for a burst of creativity and the drive to transform your photos with confidence and skill. Broadcasting directly from Clever Photographer headquarters, it's time to welcome your hosts, Jakub and Holly Linton.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of LumiCast, the podcast where we talk about our love of Luminar NEO and all things photography and photo editing. I'm your co-host, Holly Linton, from Northeast Tennessee, United States, and virtually with me here is Jakub from Chichester, UK. Hi, Jakub.
Hello, Holly. The summer is here. So exciting.
What's our topic today?
Well, follow my excitement for summer because we're going to talk about how to enhance sunset and sunrise photos. And we have 10 ideas or tips on photos or different controls in Luminar NEO, and we're going to share them with you. And to start, Holly will share with us the first tool we can use to enhance this incredible time of the day to photograph.
All right. Well, in Luminar NEO, of course, we have our landscape section, which includes the landscape tool. So we might use this to try to dehaze. Just pull the dehaze slider, see if that does anything to improve your image. We have our golden hour slider in case you want to add a little more warmth to your subject. And then should there be any foliage in your picture, maybe you have more of a forest scene that has some greenery in it, you can always try to pull the foliage enhancer as well as the hue to change the shade of green to see if that makes your image look a little bit better. So that would be the first slider I would think of.
Definitely. I love landscape tool, actually, and especially the golden hour slider. There is something in it. I don't know if it's the color or the saturation, which works better than anything else I figured out so far for golden hour or sunset photos. So definitely, if you guys editing sunset, golden hour, sunrise, try this slider, the golden hour slider in landscape tool. It works the magic. Now, next on our list is the glow tool. Now, people know that I am an ambassador of Mystical Tool in Luminar NEO. Like, I should have a shirt with only use Mystical Tool. I think it's super cool. However, I think for this one, for sunrise and sunset, I prefer to use the glow tool. Glow tool because you have a little more or better selection of what kind of glow you can add. So you can choose between the soft focus, the traditional glow, the Orton effect, and Orton effect soft, and all of them give you just something a little bit different. And in combination with masking, you can really be creative with that. So the glow, for example, is a great way to enhance the sun and the glow around the sun, or also the sun rays, or the sky, or any other elements in your picture or photo. And again, as I say, if you combine it smartly with masking, you can really create beautiful scene and add depth and just more romantic look to your sunset and sunrise photos. So glow is your next on the list of tools you can use to enhance these incredible images. What's next on our list?
Well, one of my favorite tools from one of our episodes was sun rays. And so anytime I see a sun in a picture, I always automatically think, let me add the sun rays tool to that. So you can click on it and place the little dot that it gives you right into the center of your sun and have fun pulling all the different sliders to intensify it. You can change the tone of the glow to either more cool or more warm. And there's just a lot of fun sliders in there to play around with to either make your sun rays really beam out into the scene, or maybe you just want to keep it more subtle. So always try to add a little sun rays and see what it happens, because maybe in camera it didn't quite, maybe you saw in your eyes a lot more glow coming out of it, but maybe your picture is not representing that. So kind of turn it into what you saw while you were there. So that's what I would say.
Great. Well done. Sunrise. I mean, definitely it connects with the sunset and sunrise hugely, right? It's a great way to enhance the image. However, I should mention here that people should be just a little bit more careful about how they use it. I still remember when it was released all those years ago, and it's a tool which when people discover it, they are quite keen to overuse it, and it can just look very unnatural. So less is more in this case. I think definitely try to use it, play around with it, but just be careful. Maybe come back to your photo in an hour or two and see how much of it is there, because it can come across as quite heavy and over editing. But you're right, Sunrays tool is a great addition to our list. Now, furthermore, we're going to the fourth tool, which we can use to enhance this time of the day. And that is definitely the color tool and its HSL panel. Now, the downfall of sunset and sunrise photography is that when we're there and looking at it, we have a certain perception of the colors and how it looks. And the camera maybe have a just different feel about how the scene look. Maybe the colors are a bit different. Maybe it's more on a purple side or blue side. And to adjust this, we can use the HSL panel. Because with the HSL panel, you can specifically adjust the hue, saturation, and luminance of specific colors. And when it comes to sunset and sunrise, ideally we will be able to adjust red, orange, yellow, maybe greens, maybe also blues, maybe magentas. And we can do that here quite easily by just moving the slider around. So you can adjust the saturation or even shift the hue, or you can adjust the luminosity or luminance to make it brighter and darker. And it really gives you that very detailed and hands-on adjustment if you want to really get it as close as to what you remember seeing. So while you don't have to use it at all if you don't want to, you can, and you can be really specific on how your sunrise and sunset photo is going to look. Do you use much HSL panel, Holly?
Well, you mean for sunrise and sunset pictures or just in general?
No, any photography in general.
Yes, I always go to it. I usually tweak at least one color, but it just obviously depends on the image. But I use that as my primary tool for changing colors versus I don't use the saturation slider. I like going into all the individual colors because I think that's obviously gives you more control. Usually, I definitely would a lot of times take a lot of yellow out if there's a lot of green, or I take a lot of green out. I kind of try back and forth because a lot of times foliage to me is a little bit too green, but by taking yellow out, it makes it look better. But yeah, it just depends. If something's obviously oversaturated, I'll definitely tweak that specific color. So I think it's a tool to always try it. Play around with it in your image and see what it does.
I agree with it. So we stepped aside into the essential tools with our color tool, but I guess we're going to go back to landscape tools, right?
Yes. Another one I think could be of benefit. Obviously, you need to have water in the picture to use Water Enhancer AI. But if it was a sunrise or sunset, I think a lot of times in any picture with a body of water, the water tends to just look a little bit dull or dark, not very colorful, unless maybe you're lucky and you're in the Caribbean and you have crystal blue waters or something. So I would try Water Enhancer just to be able to adjust the level of the blues, or maybe turn it more towards greens. Just play around with those sliders to see if there's a hue that just kind of makes it come to life, or even just pulling the amount slider of the Water Enhancer should give you a little bit more of a nicer result than just your basic water that's already in the picture. So play around with all those sliders, and you could even make the water a little bit brighter if you had to. I guess if it was a sunrise, maybe you'd want it brighter. Sunset, maybe you wouldn't want it too bright. So whatever matches up with your scene the best. So I'd say try Water Enhancer if you have water in your picture.
Oh, you're right, definitely. I'm talking about summer, right? Where we are now, in a connection with the sunset and sunrise. There's a high chance that people will take pictures of at this time of the day with the water there. Either it's a lake, beach, or any kind of water there. So good point. Water Enhancer. Well, now that brings us to the fifth tip. So let's take a minute break. We're going to run an ad, and then we're going to come back with 5 more, including Mood Tool, Twilight Enhancer, and so on. So don't go away. We'll be back in a moment.
If you're listening to the LumiCast podcast, then we share something in common. We love editing photos, and we love Luminar. It's almost breathtaking what this amazing tech can do for you. On our website, you'll find countless different things to help you be more creative than you ever thought imaginable. From our photo manipulation masterclass to our power bundle with 986 elements, our essential preset bundle, editing software and extensions to our tutorials. Harness the power at the website at www.cleverphotographer.com/Luminar. Again, that's cleverphotographer.com/Luminar. Now, back to LumiCast.
And we are back for the second half of today's podcast, where we're talking about how to enhance your sunset and sunrise photos. We already talked about the landscape tool and golden hour slider there. We talked about the glow tool, sunrays tool, the color tool and its HSL panel, as well as the water enhancer. So that is 5. We promise you 10, so we're going to go ahead and give you 5 more. And actually, looking at the list, it's my turn. And so what we're going to be talking about is, again, color adjustments. I talked about the color tool already, where you can use the HSL panel and tweak things. Now, if you think that that is a little bit intimidating, then I think the next one will be great because everything is pretty much done automatically. Yes, I'm talking about the mood tool and the LUTs in it. Holly, you know what the LUTs are. What is it?
Yes, look up table.
Great. Thank you very much.
That's what it stands for.
I can't ever remember. So you are my helper for the LUTs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, mood tool, LUTs. Now, one thing I know is that there are 2 LUTs which are by default in the application, which are great for sunset and sunrise. And those are Candlelight and Long Beach. If you never tried, these work great on romantic, heavy sunrise and sunset captures, as well as golden hour. Maybe adjust the amount a little bit, and I think they work super well. But you can try the other ones as well. It's really simple to use the mood tool. You just hover over these LUTs, have a play with it, and yeah, you can really tweak the colors and get them where you want to be with one simple click. So I think that the mood tool have to be on our list. Well, and with that, Holly, what is next on your list?
All right. This is a little more of a creative way of doing your sunrise and sunset edit. Give the color transfer tool a try. Now, if you've never used it before, what that does, it allows you to pick a reference image. So say you already have a sunrise or sunset image that you really, really like all of the tones and that. You can add that image into the tool, and then your existing image will take on all of the color tones of that. So that's a pretty neat tool to try. And you can obviously adjust the amount of the tool with the sliders and the intensity of the colors and intensity of the luminosity and stuff like that. So it's just a good way of transferring the color of the hues of the sky and foliage and stuff like that into your target image. So I would suggest the color transfer tool.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great one. I follow a few photographers. I really admire their photos. And I have tried in past to maybe borrow their images because you don't really use anything from it other than the colors. And then just, upload them to the application and apply them to my photos. And it works really well. It works the magic. So definitely give it a go. So that was the color transfer. Now on my list, the next one is the Twilight Enhancer AI. Little bit complex tool. You have to tweak it a lot or not. And it definitely doesn't work on all images. But I think when it works the magic. For those who never tried it, it's really simple. You just open up a tool. You choose one of the presets there. You can choose between golden, blush, emerald, Huawei, and blue. And you just apply it and see what it does. And then if you like the effect, just adjust the amount and leave it. And if not, then just move on. But I really think that photos benefit from it. So give it a go, see, and try it. Definitely. It's one of those tools which maybe people don't generally use, and it's worth to try. So that is the Twilight Enhancer. Holly, what's next for you?
All right. So I believe this is our last one. If all else fails, say you're out there, you get up at sunrise, or you're out there at sunset, and you just didn't get that shot that you were hoping for. Who knows, maybe the weather took a turn for the worse. You could always use Sky AI. So go back to our landscape tools to Sky AI and just do a sky replacement of the most beautiful sunrise or sunset you've ever seen. It's probably going to be one from one of Clever Photographer's bundles. So you could give that a go, worst case scenario. So what do you think about using Sky AI? Is that really kind of cheating or what?
Not necessarily. I was just speaking to someone a few weeks ago about it. He was asking, is it cheating or is it okay for me to replace the sky? And honestly, if you have spent your money on a flight ticket, flew 5 hours somewhere, and then you all ready and you have your camera and everything is just about to happen, and then nothing happens. So maybe you just get a plain sky with not even cloud in it, then definitely go ahead and use the Sky AI and replace the sky. as I was telling Holly earlier, I will sign a certificate for you to be able to use the Sky AI. Because at the end of the day, photography is an art and it's a creative process, and you want to create something, go ahead and try it. At the same time, you're still capturing a scene where the golden hour or sunset or sunrise is happening. So there will be the colors there will be the colors in the landscape. And, so it's not 100% cheating. If you have a scene which is like a gray middle of the day and you're trying to make a sunset from it, well, that is not great. But if you have a scene which is actually captured during the sunset or sunrise or golden hour, and you just want to enhance it this way because the sun or the sky just didn't happen, I think this is perfectly fine. So this is my opinion on it. But actually, looking at our list, that's not the last one.
Oh, okay.
The last one are the layers. So I will take that. Holly stole the Sky AI from me.
I'm not too good at math. I don't mind telling our listeners that.
That's no problem at all, as long as we go through 10. So I will talk about the layers and more importantly about overlays, because overlays do offer great way on enhancing the sunset and sunrise, especially if there is a sun in it, or you can obviously use different overlays. You can use overlays to add sun rays or even like a sunburn or like light leaks. You can use overlays which just add glow around the sun and be really creative with it. Or, as Holly suggested earlier, you can even add things like birds or maybe clouds and really add depth to your image if you want to be more on the creative side. I think this is why the list works really well, because we have started by really traditional and I would say more gentle enhancements at the beginning, and then we work our way more towards the heavy adjustments at the end, where I think the layers, the overlays, the Sky AI, and maybe even the color transfer is, but then it gives you the tools, and now it's up to you to see what you're gonna do with it. Out of all these tools we mentioned today, which one you use the most, Holly?
Probably landscape and the golden hour. I feel like that's one I always try, even if it's not a landscape picture. So yeah, out of all of those, overall, that's what I would use the most. I don't do a lot of sky replacements. Yeah, landscape, anything in the landscape section.
Fair enough. Yep. And I probably use the color tool and HSL panel pretty much on every picture, just like you. Mm-hmm. It maybe not end up being in that edit, but I try, play around with it, just adjust different things and be creative with it. Great. Mm-hmm. So, folks, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope this list was helpful. If you capture beautiful sunset or sunrise image, make sure that you share it with us in the comments under the podcast, or you can also send it to us. You can always send us any image to info@cleverphotographer.com, and we would be really happy to see it. For today, this is it. So go out there and photograph beautiful sunset and sunrise. Holly, thank you very much for joining me again.
You're welcome. It was fun. I'll have to set my alarm and get up early to see a sunrise one day.
One day. Guys, have a great weekend, and we'll speak to you again next week.
Bye, everyone.
And that's a wrap. Now, there's only 3 things left to do. Subscribe to this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Visit our website at cleverphotographer.com/LumiCast to see what we have in store next. And stay creative and keep editing your photos no matter what anyone says.